On Crossing Lines, we wanted to create something a little bit different than your typical episodic series. Our hope was to have our characters propel the story and take our audience into the usual crime of the week episodic stories, but also allow us to get into the characters' past, into the characters' fears, into their emotions, and possibly ghosts that they may have that we as an audience can discover what they were and how they resolve those ghosts in their closets. In looking at the ghosts that our characters have and what we can do with those stories, we wanted to have our two leads, that is Hickman, Carl Hickman, our American detective, and Louis Daniel, our French detective, have something from their past, something from their backstory come to us and give us the opportunity to discover what happened to them, maybe a sadness that we can deal with. For example, Louis Daniel has lost a son. He and his wife are having problems with that. And as a friend, Dorn, who is the chief prosecutor of the ICC, starts to help him to discover what happened on that fateful night. In the story with Louis Daniel, we will follow where his son has been a victim and possibly collateral damage in a very sad situation. And we will take that through the series as a story arc on which the last episode of season 1 gives us some more very important information, but still doesn't resolve that storyline. It is in the beginning of season 2 that we start to see and understand what truly happened that fateful night when his son died. In the story of Carl Hickman, we understand that this is a man who has a lot of ghosts in his closet. He has to deal with a past where he was a victim of a shootout and that damaged him physically. It really affected him emotionally. He has to be dependent on morphine, something he's not proud of and something he tries to get away from. And also he's looking for the man who put him in that position. So in the first season, we follow Carl Hickman's journey and how he tracks down the man behind his fateful night where he had his hand shot and has essentially been the demon and the ghost in his closet. In realizing that Anne-Marie probably will not be coming back or surviving, we don't know, you have to watch season 2 to find out, we wanted to introduce another female character, Arabella, a detective from the Dutch police, a very strong-willed woman, very clear, very succinct, and very didactic in her interview. She is a cognitive interview expert, and she is able to go through all of the different pros and cons and material that is put towards her and come to the essence of every research that she has so that she can actually get to the bottom of whatever the clues are that are being given. Arabella will become a regular in season 2. When we were gearing up and developing season 2, we wanted to bring in a couple of new characters to show that the ICC was able to tap into and had the power to tap into other countries. Hickman had a partner in the US. That was a storyline that we were following with Hickman and Genovese, who escapes Hickman in the end of season 1. And it is his partner, Amanda Andrews, played by Carrie-Anne Moss, who helps him. First, they go to New York, they try to track him down. Also, she needs the team, the specialty of the ScanGen machine, and with the team, she's able to solve the case of the young women who are trafficked, but she also, with the help of Hickman and Amanda Andrews track down Genovese, the nemesis for both of these two characters, and a very key highlight for both of them. As well as having compelling characters, we wanted to have some really interesting locations. If you look at shows today that are produced on an international level, for example, Game of Thrones or the Borgias, they shoot in different locations. They want to offer not only wonderful characters, but a fabulous backdrop that the stories can pass into. So rising to that occasion and wanting to show the world that our team, which the story lends itself to be moving from one country to the other, we wanted to bring in different locations. We continue to have Prague, the Czech Republic, as our main base, but we reached out to Sofia, Bulgaria for certain looks and sets, to the south of France and Marseille and the surrounding countryside. And that way having not only different colors, but also textures and exotic backdrops for people to see these wonderful stories in. The importance of the story was something that we wanted to make fresh, that we wanted to have accessible to people. Europe as it is today is similar to how the States went through their political system, their legal system, and more importantly, their police system, because the criminals could cross borders, and when the criminals could cross borders, they actually did not have a proactive force that could go after them. That's how the FBI was born, and that's how the States, United States of America, dealt with that problem in terms of setting up an organization. In Europe today, we don't have that we don't have an organization that is as proactive and as empowered as the FBI is in the States. So our team, the ICC team, actually is the one that tries to be proactive and is empowered by the ICC tribunal to get to the bottom of each case. So we tried to figure out what are the cases, what's interesting about these cases, and how could they be accessible to everybody worldwide. We went for subjects like cyberbullying, the fact that there are people using the internet. Kids today use it for a form of mobbing, and also it is a form of last resort when you're trying to maybe seek revenge on someone. That's pretty deadly, and that's very frightening. So that was a subject we tried to deal with. We also tried to deal with the fact that Europe is having growing pains, that not everybody is happy to be losing their identity, that they are no longer independent as a country, but part of a bigger European community. Is that good? Is it bad? What's the price of it? What's the cost of it? And we tried to have these themes being very lightly interwoven in the different episodes.